Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to continue with the build of my new quad based on the Real Acryl 1. In the previous video I showed you how to mount the board and connect the motor's ESC. I did a small change. I added a string over the red wire. You definitely don't need to do it. It's only for the look of it. So I have bluish quad. And today I saw a remark of a guy that uses the same frame and the same motors. This frame have a significant problem with these motors, and I'm going to show you exactly what is the problem. If you see this aluminum motor mount and you see the hole right here, it just don't fit that motor. If you're watching this particular motor, you can see right here it has this clip that holds the motor shaft inside, and this clip comes about here. If you see this hole, does not fit. Look closely, doesn't fit. If you put all 4 screws and tighten it down, it will push on that clip and it will really hurt the performance of the motor, probably even burn it out. So this is one of the biggest tips I can give you if you use the same motors. The Emax, definitely a very common motor, the RS2205, 2000 kV or 2300 kV. If you use it on the frame and you don't change it, you will hurt the performance of the motor and might even burn it. So I have a couple of solutions for you. One of them is to add just the shims right here, 4 ones, just to get the motor further than the mount itself. Okay, you can use maybe a nut. I'll show you a bit how it's going to look. If you use a nut, you can use maybe thinner nut right here. Not going to close it all the way because it's not what I'm going to do. So the motor will have more room. It will not touch the aluminum. So this is one solution for you. A second one will be if you have a 3D printer, you can just print a mold that can put the motor a bit further from the aluminum. I have a 3D printer to my work, but I'm not going to use it because I'm eager to finish the build. So what I did, you can see here, just took a drill bit. This is my driller right here. Just drilled it a bit. Don't need to go all the way. As you can see here, I'm going to put the motor inside. Now it has enough room. You can feel it. You can spin. Okay, so this problem, maybe in different motor you won't have it, but with the Emax red bottom, definitely you will need to drill. So at the start of the video, first of all, I'm going to drill all 4 of them. I'm going to mount the motors in. I'm going to use provided screws. Comes with the motors. There is 2 sizes here. So that's too long. That's the ones. Never use too long screws because if you touch the wires inside the motors, it will damage the motor. So lock tight. For me, all the motors spins same way. All of them it's counterclockwise, so the nut on top will spin logically when you want to open it or close it. And I changed the motor direction from the ESCs. It's very simple, really don't need different movement of motors like it used to be on brushed motors. In brushless it doesn't matter, and I never had any props get unscrews while in the air. So it's much better when you can use only one spare motor, you don't need two of them, and it's very logical when you want to open, don't need to think which way you go about it. So after putting all four, tighten it up. Again, don't need too much force, you have your Loctite, it will do its job. Okay, so I'm gonna do all four of them. Okay, finished with mounting all four motors. Now I'm gonna cut the wires to the right length. As you can see right here, I'm gonna leave just a bit of spare. I will prep all the wires. I give links to all the tools that I use. Feel free to use my links, so I will have funds to make more videos for you. Let it cool down a bit. We'll prep the next motor. Push it back to cover the soldering. And now for my next trick, I'm gonna use an old prop like this one I already made. What I did, just cut the prop, took a piece of it, as you can see here, and gonna push it in on top of the ESC. You can take it a bit back to see what you're doing. This part is a bit tricky. Just slide it in. Shrink on it. That's it. This little piece of prop is very strong. It will protect the ESC from getting damaged from stones, small stones, and maybe if the prop hits it from that side, it's protected. And now the top side, it's the same thing you need to do if you're using a regular frame, and on top of it do the same. It will help you. So you saw soldering the motor, and I'm gonna finish all four. I finished adding all the motors and soldering it to the ESCs, and then adding the shrink on it. This is how it looks. Seems pretty nice. Now I'm gonna add power plug connection to the battery and all the signal wires to the board. So I'm gonna start with this part. There's a couple of ways you can do about it. You can go from the side, you can go from the back. The most important thing I want to tell you about this plug, if you just solder it into the board like this way, and you get a bad crash and your battery just pulls out of the quadcopter, it will pull the plug and it might just rip this soldering pad off the board, and this will probably damage the board beyond repair. So the biggest tip is you need to mount the plug in a way that in a crash it won't hurt the board. So I figured I'm gonna mount it in the side this way with zip tie. I'm going to go from here to the back and I'm going to solder it about this way. So if I get a bad crash, it will pull this way and not on the board. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to mount it. That's it, all done. Very good. So you see, this pulls back, it won't hurt the board. So now I'm going to put a new tip in the soldering. Just got it today, perfect timing. Got a new set of them. For this particular soldering will need to be very precise. The signal wire you can see here, very small, delicate soldering. So while my solder iron getting cold, I'm gonna cut the wires to the right size. So I decided I will can go from the center, but here we're gonna have a problem. So I'm gonna go from the side or directly. You know what? I will go just directly this way. So again, I'm gonna cut it a little bit extra. Probably after soldering it will be a bit loose. Okay, I finished soldering all the single wires. The only tip I can give you, if you're going like me from the bottom upwards, try to solder as vertical as you can so you won't touch these pads for the ESCs here. And that's it. The last part I'm going to do is add the receiver, transmitter and the camera. You can mount it in several of ways. You can put another layer on top of this board. You can do it on the frame. I'm going to put it on the frame itself so the antenna can be directly going out from this part right here. It's going to be this way so I can see the numbers. I can see which frequency I'm on, and the receiver gonna be somewhere here, so the antennas will go from these two small holes, and the camera has these mounting holes here. What I'm going to do is put all the wiring going on the frame itself and going from the back to the bottom, so I'll be able to open the frame with the cable connected. So first I'm gonna add all the cables, then I'm going to do the connection itself when the frame is open this way, so I will have a way to open and close it while the cables are connected. So first of all, I'm going to start adding some cables to the receiver. It comes without any cable. I'm going to put the cables going out from this side where the antenna goes, because it will be mounted right here, and I'll be able to change the antennas when it's connected. I have these cables. So in the drawing you can see the ground here, then the 5 volts and the S-bus connect. So black one go here. Now for the camera, I have noticed that for this particular camera, as you can see here, it has movement. If you put screws and squeeze it together, it will tighten the carbon together and it won't fit the frame pretty well. So I'm going to add washers to make it a bit easier. I'm going to open I mounted the camera. I used plastic washers. It's mounted good inside. Let's see how to connect. I use double-sided tape. Okay, I've mounted all the parts. Did the camera, the receiver, and the transmitter. This is the antennas. I will mount the antennas at the end. But now I'm going to connect it to the board. So the camera is right next to it, so ground and video in. So the camera is on the inside, so I'll start with the camera so I have easier reach. Okay, that's done. Wasn't easy. You need to go inside to the soldering here. I got 1, 2, 3 coming from the camera and 3 coming from the transmitter. Now last one, this will be the receiver. If we look here, we have ground 5 volt and we will need the S-bus. This is UR1. So this will be this one right here. So I have ground, VCC, and this one, the S-bus signal. And that's it, it's done. As you can see, it's nice bluish quad. Really like the frame, the weight of it without the battery. It's 298 grams, so it's not the lightest quad. Of course, the motor's not hollow shaft, but it's quite nice. It's much lighter than my old quad. I did test that I didn't have any voltage, and I plugged it in and I saw it on beta flight, but I didn't test the camera and the transmitter. I'm going to test it right now. Hold your fingers. As you can see here, set up. That's it. Get video. Very nice. That's a lot of data. I'm gonna play with it a bit for the setting of the camera and the setting of the on-screen display and all the settings of the board, but it's working, so that's quite nice. Let me add the props. Okay guys, the quad is done. It's fully built. I did connect it to the PC and I saw it on beta flight that everything is working fine. I didn't set up it yet. I'm not going to show you in this video. There is a lot of good videos out there showing you exactly how to set up everything you need. I didn't put the bolts because I need to remove it when I set it up. It was a very nice build. I like this quad. I didn't add the frame braces. This is up to you. If you add it, I might add it later. That's it. Don't forget the tip about the motor mount. It's very important if you use this particular motor. If you use exactly my setup, this video probably will help you a lot. If not, you can use some of my tips. Hope this helps you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe and I'll see you guys next time.